Hello there, Virtual Review Tech USA. Um, saw your video on Battlefield 4 not having motion controls, and I understand why you would say that, but I don't think you've had much experience with motion controls in first-person shooters. A lot of people haven't, but if you did have some experience, I would say some extensive experience. Like you knew how to use motion controls in terms of first person shooters, I don't think you would be saying what you were saying about motion controls, in video games. Because, yes, they are gimmicks in a way that they attract um, markets. It's something that makes you buy a product. In that sense, they are gimmicks. But when gamers say motion controls are gimmicks, they mean it in a sense that it has no point, it has no use. There's nothing you can do with motion controls that is really worth paying attention to. And that, I don't think that's true at all. You know, um, like first-person shooters is one of the few genres that the Wii had actually proven that like this is something that you should really pay attention to and really try to experiment with. And because of that, we got games like Red Steel 2. Red Steel 2 is one of my favorite. I believe is like the best motion game this generation. And it's a Wii game made by Ubisoft. Basically, what you do, it's a game that you shoot and swing a sword at the same time. Now, the first one, yes, I do. Yes, it sucked, but the second one greatly improved on that. And yeah, like being able to, you know, swing a sword and shoot simultaneously, not simultaneously, but like seamlessly, and also being able to do like all kinds, all kinds of different moves with motion controls. Like I don't see how developers didn't see that and did more with it. But that's just a little tangent. I want, but just get on to the topic of Battlefield 4. I and many other Wii players, played Call of Duty, on the Wii, you know, like a lot, like Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, even the Conduit 1 and 2, GoldenEye, most people play with, the Wiimote in those games, and those are like were the most, competitive games on the Wii. And if you look back at those videos, and even no, even if you look at like Wii U, Black Ops 2, videos of people using, of course, like Black Ops 2, they really dumbed down the Wiimote controls, and really like if you never played Wiimote on NW3, you wouldn't understand what people say when that they really dumbed down the Wiimote controls, but even like Black Ops 2, you can look at it and you can tell that, like you can be really competitive with the Wiimote. So, but that's just as far as the Wiimote. But then you take it over to the PlayStation Move. I hear like, I don't know 100% because I don't have a PS3. I never got the money to do it because my own personal financial issues. But I even heard like on like a play on the play, on Killzone 3, people felt people who were using the move were noobs, because they thought the move was overpowered. I say it wasn't overpowered. It's kind of like it was kind of like putting the mouse, on a console. People gonna think the mouse player is overpowered, but no, it's just how that controller naturally is. The Wii, most controls, at least as far as the Wii and PlayStation Move goes, the Kinect really isn't suited for the kind of the games, that we play as of now. But the games that we do play, the Move and Wiimote are more so suited for. So when it comes to those kind of games, you know, I feel as if us Wii players, on Call of Duty Wii and even GoldenEye and Conduit 2, we've proven time and time again that this is a controller you can use competitively for competitive shooters like Battlefield 4, and you're actually able to do more. You have more advantages with the Wiimote in PlayStation Move than analog players. Now, most people don't believe, you know me when I say that, but we prove it all the time. Being and just to put in perspective, we never take our, we're aiming 100% of the time. So you know, when you're on in an analog state, let's say you're trying to, you know, depending on your how your button layout is, you're trying to jump or drop shot. You know, you have to move your thumb away from the other stick. You know what I mean? Basically, we were able to do, you know, jump or, you know, crouch or whatever, you know, like seamlessly without ever having to, you know, take, you know, not aim. We're aiming 100% of the time, so it's never really an issue. And yeah, like I understand that we haven't seen anything that has impressed you, but I don't think most people have. Most people haven't because most people just don't pay attention to motion games. I pay attention to motion games. It pisses me off that the only kind of motion games I can get like are shooters. You know, I want more than just shooters. And even in shooters, you know, we don't really get our controllers fleshed out. You know, if you look at the Hydra controller on the PC, the PC Hydra controller is the most accurate motion controller on the market. And what does it get? Gestures, basically buttons allocated to gestures. That's pretty much all it gets. You know, all it gets is like basically free aim in Team Fortress 2, and I think on was it Left 4 Dead, you get to, you know, accurately swing your like your melee weapon. That's it. But then when you look at, you know, individuals who do their own game demos with the Hydra controller, you know, you can see you're actually able to aim. You know, you get to free aim with both controllers. You know, both Hydra controllers in your hand. You can use, you know, two pistols and aim accurately with both of them. You know, that's something you can do with motion control. You can't do that with traditional controls. You can move and use two weapons at the same time with motion controls. You can't do that with traditional controls. Traditional controls do not have the ability to do that. Only motion controls do. Granted, the console motion controllers can't do that, but they can still do other things that traditional controllers can't do. Like I mentioned, if you look at Red Steel 2 gameplay, in Red Steel 2, if you actually get far enough to where you get all, you know, most of the moves, you actually get to see that you're actually doing moves in like gameplay that you can't do with a traditional controller. You know, you can't. Once you play, you're like, oh snap, I can't do this anywhere else. And that's what developers have to start doing. Because I don't see how you can be a developer, look at the Hydra controller, and say you can't do shit with it. That's bullshit. Because I'm pretty, all you gotta do is go on YouTube, look up some demos and Hydra controller demos, and tell that whole shit. We can do a lot with this. You can do so much with the Hydra controller. You can do a lot more than people are doing with the Wiimote. You can do a lot more than what people are doing with the Move. You know, like they literally they've only scratched the surface of what most controls can do, and all they've done is just like casual games. They rarely, if ever, have done like core games for, you know, for us with the motion controls. They just haven't really gotten around to it, and most of that has to do with people just saying, "Oh, it's a new it's a new controller. I don't want it." People are so, you know, like complacent, like they're just okay with having the DualShock 3 or the Xbox 360 controller for the rest of their life. And I don't give a fuck. I will not be gaming if the only thing I can play on is traditional controls for, you know, like I can't do that for the rest of my life. Like I'm just not going to do that, which is why I support motion controls, which is why I support Nintendo products, because they always try to do something new instead of just keeping the same controller. That's my couple cents on Battlefield 4 not having motion controls. It should not Kinect. Not Kinect really doesn't do anything at all. It's not accurate enough to do it, but PlayStation Move and, you know, hopefully, you know, Wii U, you know, with the Wiimote, You know what I mean? They will have it, you know, and even if you look, you know, at the gamepad, you know, like it can definitely, the gamepad can definitely benefit from Battlefield 4. Really, well, the way I see it, with them saying that they're not going to focus on gimmicks, saying we're not going to focus on new ways we can play games. You know, basically what they're saying is, you know, we're too lazy to try and do something new, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to take them long to figure out how to do new gameplay with traditional controls. Really, traditional controls are tired to me. Like, there's really nothing more you can do with it. They're boring. They're not interesting to me at all. That's just me personally. So, yeah.